Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Welcome to the Sunday evening discussion with Anand. Today I wanted to ask him about something you guys have been asking me for some time. What about traditional advertising media such as newspapers, TVs, satellite channels? Is this something which is still an option for investors, value investors, or is this the end of the line for them considering what is happening in OTT? And if you're an advertising agency, as a value investor, should we be investing in these advertising agencies or should we be more careful? All this is what I wanted to unpack on this Sunday evening with Anand. So, Anand, what's your take on traditional advertising?
See, I'm not only talking about ad agencies, even magazines and newspapers, all of them are in serious trouble. The revenue models have evaporated and there has been a dramatic shift. People saw this shift coming in 2011, long before YouTube became such a big sensation. There was a book by Chris Anderson which became popular in about 2010-11 called The Long Tail. What it basically said is there was a tyranny of distribution. Like a newspaper editor decided got onto the newspaper, who got popular, who didn't get popular. The readers did not get the wide spectrum of choice and decide that we'd vote for this fellow or this fellow. The first spectrum stopped because then in songs he said the record companies were the tyranny. With the internet, anybody can sing and anybody can become star. There's a lady called Susan who was 55 plus, who was suffering from autism, who came in, who's got talent in Britain and became very popular. And she came out of the blue from somewhere. So that broke all records. So what happened is if I put my content out there, my content may not be liked by a broad spectrum of people, but there's definitely a spectrum of people who would listen to my content, which is significant, which is not big enough for a music company to catch. And if that community expands and something goes viral, then you have a star. What will happen according to that, Chris Anderson, is it will democratize. At that time, he said blogs, people who wrote blogs, would become more popular than newspapers. It happened. It became gave race to the columnists, right? People would compete with others and write columns. And those blogs became very popular, not in India, but in other parts of the world. Then, with the rise of Facebook and with the rise of YouTube, finally, visual content became very popular to such an extent that YouTube became the biggest OTT content platform. And what they did was basically whatever you wanted to put out, you could put out. All it required is 4,000 hours of ad content plus 1,000 subscribers. They started sharing revenue with you,
Correct.
with you taking the majority.
Yes.
What this incentivized people is to create more content. It created a feedback loop, positive feedback loop. With the decline of traditional media in India, for those who are watching, when NDTV was bought over by another corporate group, the prominent guy quit there and started his own YouTube channel. Within a month, he was already with 1 crore subscribers. And his channel went viral and he started to make much more money than he would have ever dreamed in making as a job as a daily evening night late night or early night broadcaster. A lot of people followed and it became very successful. So now what has happened is people used to see the news for Twitter. About 10 years back when Kalam passed away, I realized that on the Twitter.
Yes.
When Mandalay News Srinivasan died, I saw it on Twitter.
Correct.
I didn't see it on traditional media.
Correct. Traditional media came late.
Came late. At least I used to go and look for commentary in traditional media. Now each of these big commentators has his own YouTube channel and the commentary comes instantly. So I don't look for expert comments. I don't look for commentary. I don't look for the news. So why do I need television? And now what happened is these OTT platforms got wise and they started using the internet and supplying the content. Like Geo being very famous when it took over Hotstar.
True.
So more people watched IPL in digital format than they watched in television format. So the TV rights went for far less than the digital rights.
Correct.
Sony realized even with digital networks, you need a space and the power to share. So it did a joint venture with Geo Hotstar and gave its digital rights for the India England tour to Geo and made some money on that. So more people are watching things online. Even live sports events is being watched online rather in television. Now what has happened is big companies, even in India, are late. It's Hindustan Unilever, Godrej, consumers, and all this, which were depending on television to reach A-class clients. Now realize the clients they want are not watching the TV.
Correct.
They have moved their advertising to OTT and OTT link platforms,
Yes.
which includes YouTube.
Yes.
And there are now a growing plethora of brands which are 100% online. So all their advertising is only online. So this means a famous newscaster in India we have a term called Godi media for media which is loyal to the government. So he explained if you don't advertise in our medium, how do you expect us to be critical of the government when all the advertisement is coming from the government? So today, television has become a propaganda for the government in power, and all the critical and the correct information has moved to OTT platforms. If you want to watch, suppose there's a cricket match or a tennis match, you want to watch expert comments, people go to the expert they follow on the YouTube and directly pick up with him. So all the advertisement which was on post-match analysis on television will now be on the YouTube platform of that. If John McEnroe, I don't know whether he has, but he creates a YouTube channel and starts analyzing matches in there.
Yeah.
People are not going to watch the post-match analysis in television. They'll
Yeah.
watch it on his YouTube.
Yes.
It's happening in cricket, which I follow. I'm
It's
sure
happening
it's
in other
happening.
sports too.
It
Yeah.
must be
Slowly.
happening in other
Because
sports.
American football players are starting their own podcasts, their own YouTube channel. Even Taylor Swift's boyfriend recently on his own podcast is where Taylor Swift announced a new studio album. So that was a lot of news and creates a lot
So
of
what
traction.
I'm trying to say is traditional media is not going to get advertisement and they cannot decide what will come and what will not come. Traditional media will have to follow these guys and they will lose advertisement. Now coming to AI, the effect of AI on this, there are going to be ways and means to fool AI because AI is not going to have emotion. So people are going to get in bed with AI and say share information with AI and fool the AI into giving you information which may not actually be true.
So it's very hard because AI is like a lost child.
Yeah,
So you can guide it
yeah.
into whichever dark corner you want it to.
Whichever dark corner you want to. So it is extremely important that if for a brand or if you want in any business that you have to be online.
Very true. So taken all what into consideration, the talent management, what these agencies were doing is gone. This kind of advertising and creative kind of thinking is gone. AI's influences on this is catastrophic for them. So putting all this together, and most of these advertising companies, if you look at their balance sheet, they are heavily laden with debt.
If you are laden with debt, you are dead.
Yeah, so that's why I'm fascinated. Even Japanese advertising companies like Dentsu,
Dinsu.
yeah, it has so much of debt, and their revenue seems to be nowhere looking at. What do you see any future for them?
Unless they pivot and become media houses themselves,
Okay, creating in their own ecosystem.
creating their own ecosystem, chances of survival are very less. This is very classic. Yahoo had an ecosystem. It didn't need Google. Google came Yahoo away. Maybe somebody will sweep Google, but he will still be holding the ecosystem.
Okay.
One who holds the ecosystem holds the power. And the ecosystem, the more democratic and more easier it is to load content on it, the more powerful it will be.
Yeah, so the ecosystem is democratic, easy to access, and which is revenue sharing will be the one which is most successful.
Yes. Unfortunately, Instagram has not shared revenue. And unless you share revenue, you cannot catch up with YouTube. And every day you allow YouTube to go ahead, you are creating a network effect where it's too big to fail.
Yeah, it's happening even in YouTube Shorts, where they've started sharing revenue there too, which is the only place which is holding out.
And YouTube Shorts was supposed to be a threat, was supposed to counter TikTok.
Yeah.
Now, without TikTok, they are still doing too well.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, Be Rich. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, kindly pass your comments down below and we will take a look. Kindly share this video with your friends and relatives and have them take a look. Once again, I thank you for your support to Be Rich.